Hello and welcome to Financial Intelligence. In this video, I want to talk about Peter Thiel's investment in Facebook. PayPal co-founder Peter Thiel is the managing director of venture capital firm Founders Fund. Peter Thiel wrote the first check to Facebook back in 2004 when the company was just a 3% dorm room startup launched by Mark Zuckerberg. The company's remarkable growth in the following years made Thiel exponentially wealthier. However, later on he exited his Facebook investment prematurely. Therefore, the question that I want to explore in this video is, did Peter Thiel get lucky or is he a brilliant investor? In the first part of this video, I'm going to talk about Peter Thiel's investment in Facebook. Then, in the second segment, I'm going to share with you Peter Thiel's poor decision to exit Facebook prematurely. Finally, in the last segment, I'm going to share with you my opinion on whether Peter Thiel is a brilliant investor or just a lucky one. If you like the type of content that I provide, subscribe to this channel and also give this video a thumbs up and hit the notification bell so that you won't miss any of my future videos. Part 1. Facebook investment. Peter Thiel became a Facebook investor in 2004 when Mark Zuckerberg first set out to turn his dorm room project into a lasting business. In August of 2004, Thiel made a $500,000 angel investment in Facebook for a 10.2% stake in the company and joined Facebook's board. This was the first outside investment in Facebook and valued the company at $4.9 million. Thiel and his associated investment funds held more than 44 million shares of Facebook when the company went public. Thiel's $500,000 investment in Facebook has become one of the most famous venture capital moves of all time. The event was even chronicled in the movie The Social Network. Note that Peter Thiel made this investment before Facebook became a dominant social media site. At the time, there were a variety of social networking sites dominating the space. For example, in 2003, Friendster was a premier social media site that at one point had 3 million monthly active users. Facebook expanded from one college campus to the next at a speed that was unprecedented among its competitors like Friendster or MySpace. Did Peter Thiel have the brilliance to recognize Facebook's potential or did he get lucky? The reason that I'm asking this question is because of the way he exited his Facebook investment. Part 2. Facebook exit. Fast forward 8 years, in May of 2012, Peter Thiel sold off 16.8 million shares in the IPO, netting $640 million. Facebook's lockup rules required some early shareholders, including Thiel, to hold on to their remaining stock for a certain period. That period ended in August of 2012 and Peter Thiel sold more shares. He and his fund liquidated 20 million more shares worth about $400 million at that time. The stock sales made at per share prices that ranged from $19 to $20 took Thiel's total Facebook cash out to just over $1 billion. The stock sales in 2012 represented a near exit for Thiel, who liquidated almost all of his Facebook holdings. He and his funds were still sitting on around 5.6 million shares, or about 12% of their original position after the two big rounds of sales. This chart shows where Peter Thiel exited roughly 90% of his position. He practically sold all his Facebook shares at the bottom of the market. If Peter Thiel would have held on to his Facebook investments, he would have had $14 billion more in assets today. That is because Facebook has grown 18x since Peter Thiel exited his position. Peter Thiel's net worth is currently $4.6 billion at the time of recording this video. He would have been much better off if he had held on to his Facebook shares and had not started any new business ventures. In fact, his new ventures have not even come close to beating Facebook. If Peter Thiel was so brilliant to recognize Facebook's potential when it was the absolute underdog, how come he did not recognize Facebook's potential when it was a mature company? Part 3. My take on Peter Thiel's investment. I understand that we are having this conversation in hindsight, and hindsight is always 20/20. However, this is an intriguing question to ask. Peter Thiel is, after all, considered as one of the most successful entrepreneurs and venture capitalists in Silicon Valley. When you see his brilliant investment in Facebook and his poor decision to exit Facebook at the worst time, you kind of start scratching your head. Was his early investment in Facebook a brilliant move, or did he get lucky? Was his early exit from his Facebook investment a mature move, or did he get unlucky? I believe that the truth is actually something in between. He was brilliant at diversifying his investments among small startups which had high chances of success. At the same time, luck played a role in his extraordinary success with his Facebook and some of his other smaller investments. I hope that you liked this video. If you have any recommendation or suggestion, add them in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and also hit the notification bell so that you won't miss any of my future videos. Thank you and take care.